Welcome back to Deep Echoes True Crime. Today, we delve into a case from East Nashville, Davidson County, Tennessee. On the surface, March 13, 2023, felt like any other early spring morning. The quiet streets of Cleveland Park held no hint of the tragedy about to unfold within one unassuming home. This narrative pulls back the curtain on a friendship that descended into violence, leaving one man unalived. Hit that subscribe button to stay with us. James Harris, then 55, had a significant past. His record included a violent felony conviction, a detail that loomed large over his future. This prior conviction meant that any new serious charges, like second-degree unaliving, could trigger a life sentence. He held no publicly specified occupation, his background a tapestry woven with threads of past conflict and unresolved issues, setting a tense stage for this interaction. Harris's temperament would become a central focus during his trial. He was prone to outbursts, a pattern of behavior that would later lead to his removal from the courtroom. This volatile nature, combined with his criminal history, painted a concerning picture for authorities. It highlighted a potential for escalation, turning what might seem like minor disagreements into dangerous confrontations, shaping the events to come. Terrence Patterson, 44, was the man whose life would tragically end that day. His occupation, like Harris's, was not detailed in public records. He was known to James Harris as a friend, a connection that makes the subsequent events all the more perplexing. The fatal encounter occurred at the East Nashville home of Donald Patterson, Terrence's uncle, a place that should have offered sanctuary, not tragedy. Donald Patterson, Terrence's uncle, resided in the tranquil Cleveland Park area, and his home provided a familiar backdrop for the friends. This was not a chance meeting. Harris and Terrence were spending time together there. The existing friendship between James Harris and Terrence Patterson meant a shared history, a common ground that suddenly shattered, transforming a quiet residence into a scene of unspeakable violence that morning. The fuse for this tragedy was lit with an argument between James Harris and Terrence Patterson. It began in an upstairs room of Donald Patterson's home. This verbal dispute quickly escalated into a physical altercation, a fistfight. Assistant District Attorney Stiles Ashby later characterized it chillingly as a fistfight that James Harris brought a gun to. Harris claimed Terrence became paranoid after getting high and pulled a knife. In the early morning hours of March 13, 2023, the argument between James Harris and Terrence Patterson reached a terrifying peak. Downstairs, Donald Patterson was on the couch, unaware of the deadly confrontation unfolding above him. Harris's claim was that Terrence, allegedly high and paranoid, produced a knife when Harris announced his intention to leave the residence, setting off a chain of irreversible events. Harris testified that his response was self-defense. He stated he pulled out a pistol, not to take Terrence's life, but to stop the alleged knife attack. His intention, he claimed, was to shoot Terrence Patterson in the shoulder. But in the chaos and fear of the moment, the shot proved fatal. This tragic misjudgment, or calculated action, changed everything for everyone present, forever altering the course of their lives. Following the single, devastating gunshot, James Harris did not stay to render aid or call for help. Instead, panic set in. Harris immediately fled the scene in his truck, abandoning Terrence Patterson in the upstairs room. His swift departure marked a critical turning point, indicating a potential attempt to evade responsibility for the lethal confrontation that had just occurred. The scene was now silenced, but the echoes of violence lingered. As James Harris sped away, he took another crucial, incriminating action. While driving, he made the deliberate decision to dispose of the murder weapon. He tossed the pistol out of his vehicle, casting it into the unknown. Law enforcement would later conduct extensive searches, but the firearm, critical to understanding the exact dynamics of the unaliving, was never located or recovered, adding another layer of mystery to the case. The crime was discovered in the early morning of March 13, 2023, at Donald Patterson's East Nashville home. While the specific person who made the initial call to police remains publicly unstated, the incident was clearly reported shortly after the unaliving. First responders quickly arrived at the Cleveland Park residence, transforming the quiet residential street into an active crime scene, marked by flashing lights and urgent activity. Key evidence in the unfolding investigation immediately pointed to the actions of James Harris. Witness testimony, most likely from Donald Patterson, who was present in the home, would become crucial. Donald Patterson's account of what he heard or saw from downstairs provided vital context, piecing together the events that led to Teres Patterson's tragic unaliving. The initial chaos slowly gave way to focused inquiry. The prosecution later heavily emphasized James Harris's post-shooting actions. His immediate flight from the scene, abandoning Teres Patterson, and the subsequent deliberate disposal of the murder weapon were damning details. These actions directly contradicted Harris's self-defense claim. The argument was simple. If it was truly self-defense, why flee and discard the very object that could corroborate his story? During his testimony, Harris admitted to pulling the trigger, confirming he unalived Teres Patterson. However, he maintained his assertion that it was a reactive measure, a desperate act to stop an alleged knife attack during their argument. This central point of contention became the jury's primary challenge. Was Harris's account a truthful depiction of self-preservation, or a fabricated excuse for a premeditated act of violence? The unrecovered pistol presented a significant hurdle for both sides. Without the physical weapon, ballistic evidence was unobtainable, leaving questions about the exact caliber and trajectory. This absence allowed the prosecution to paint Harris's actions as intentional concealment, further eroding his self-defense narrative. The deliberate act of jettisoning the firearm made the investigation into the precise mechanics of the unaliving much more complex. Nashville Assistant District Attorney Stiles Ashby relentlessly prosecuted the case against James Harris. Ashby argued forcefully that the killing was not self-defense, highlighting Harris's decision to bring a gun to a fistfight. He maintained that Harris knowingly and intentionally unalived Teres Patterson, dismissing the claim of paranoia and a knife. The prosecutor built a compelling narrative of deliberate violence, challenging every aspect of Harris's version of events. Details surrounding James Harris's arrest, the exact time, location, and specific circumstances, remain largely undisclosed in public records. However, he was taken into custody and subsequently charged with serious felonies. The primary charge was second-degree murder, classified as a Class A felony in Tennessee. This indicated the state believed the unaliving was intentional, but not necessarily premeditated, a crucial legal distinction. Additionally, James Harris faced a charge of felon in possession of a weapon, a Class B felony. His prior violent conviction made it illegal for him to possess a firearm, regardless of the circumstances of the unaliving. When the trial commenced, Harris made the unusual decision to represent himself, acting pro se. He entered a plea of not guilty, steadfastly maintaining that the tragic unaliving was an act of self-defense. The three-day trial was fraught with drama. James Harris, representing himself, engaged in repeated outbursts. Criminal Court Division II Judge Angelita Dalton continually admonished him for his disruptive behavior. The situation escalated to such a point that Judge Dalton had Harris removed from the courtroom during Assistant District Attorney Stiles Ashby's powerful closing argument to the jury. It was an unprecedented moment in court. On February 22, 2026, a Davidson County Criminal Court jury delivered their verdict. James Harris was found guilty of both second-degree murder and felon in possession of a weapon. Teres Patterson's family expressed deep satisfaction, stating, "Justice was done for Teres." Sentencing for Harris is scheduled for April 16, 2026. Given his prior violent felony, Harris faces a potential sentence of life in prison. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll be right here waiting for you in the next one.